So we just have a cow here. There's 5 fresh cows this morning, and with this cow here calved last night. And if we look in here, standing in the milking parlour now, well, that's the calf's foot. So this cow has twins. We'll have to get her up into the new calving gate, and we'll have to pull that calf. Oh no. Okay, that happens here too. If they behave themselves, they wouldn't need to kick and bar on them in the first place. There she is, in and down to set calf the minute she hit the straw. We'll lock her in the top here. I'll just talk you through what we're doing here. Putting on gloves. Paul, my father, is with me here in the pen, and we could be talking about anything, and the language could be colourful, so that's why the sound has been turned off. I just put lubricating gel on my hand there, and I put my hand inside the cow now, just to see and to add some more lubrication, more gel going on here. Initially, I thought this calf was coming backwards when I saw him in the milking parlour, but calving brain obviously had me confused because the calf was exactly the right way, and she probably would have calved on her own. But I was afraid that she hadn't calved on her own. She was calved since the evening before. The calf would either be dead or she just wasn't able to calve on her own. So I've got 2 feet out now, and I'm putting my hand in to feel is the calf's head there, and it is. So that means the calf's presented correctly. You'll see that's his nose and tongue sticking out there. And obviously the cow has had loads of time to calve, so she's as opened up as she can be. And this is very easy for her now. A big Hereford calf. She's pushing now as still as I'm pulling. Oh, I was just going to get the ropes there in case I needed them. And the jack is there just in case. So it's important to bring everything with you when you're going to calve a cow like that. Ropes, jack, bucket of cold water to get the calf going. Still didn't know if the calf was alive or not here. Again, because she's calving a long time. See how easy she calves it. That's a big calf. I'm hardly pulling now at all here. Calf is hanging now and draining his lungs out a little bit. So if there was any fluid in there, and now the calf's kicking, so I know it's alive. And the calf is out. So this is freezing cold water here now. And if you drop that into the calf's ear, it gives him a bit of a shock. You see him shake his head. There, see? His whole body's moving. And sometimes calves come out and they're not breathing, and that can be enough to get the calf breathing again. Paul is delighted. I'm delighted. Always a great success when you're not too sure if the calf is going to be alive and you realise that the calf is alive. So there's it. That white rope there is a homemade rope. You can see them online. They've like a seat you can sit in where you lean on it. Very expensive. So Paul tied 2 long white ropes together and we sit into that. And Paul actually uses that a lot more than the jack even, anytime he'd be pulling a calf. It works fierce well. We're delighted with the calving gate here obviously as well, because it's so easy to unlatch, easy to get the cow into. And that's our first time using it. So super job. Just tidy everything up now. She's gone off for her calf now. Delighted with herself. Everybody's happy. We also like to keep stuff on top of the wall there, right beside where we're calving. Just to have stuff handy there that you're not running around wondering where was it left last, or having to go a long way to get something you might need for the cow. Just a quick clip here because I want to go home to get my lunch. Crazy day altogether. This is the 8th or 9th cow that has calved since about 2 o'clock this morning. Anyone who follows on Instagram will have seen this cow in the story, Sunday's story, and you'll have seen the calf. So just on how they're calving so far, and just getting back to earlier videos when we talked about feeding oats and soya. I haven't milked the cows, it's just 20 cows calved there now. We haven't milked a cow yet that hasn't passed the quality test for colostrum. And this cow, I was over here collecting another calf down the road in the other yard about 25 minutes ago, and I came up and looked at her and there was no signs of calving going on. The calf is out on the ground, she's licking it, is trying to get up, and she's already started to clean. That is the advantage of feeding oats, and it's always the first few cows, the calf, that are on the oats inside the shortest amount of time are the ones you should get trouble with. This year, first 20 cows, 0 issues. Like I said, colostrum has been good. And just the work you save yourself by feeding out a kilo at the feed rail for a few weeks before the calf, the work you'll save yourself in here now, and the hardship you'll save the cow when it comes to calving, and the hardship you'll save the calf when it comes to getting started. It's well worth it. So if anyone was unsure or asked questions earlier in videos about feeding oats and soya before calving, now there's the proof. And yes, that's a small calf, it's a Jersey cross calf, but they're calving whiteheads and speckled parks and Charolais here, and they're all the same and have all been the same so far. Anyway, I'll get lunch 25 minutes hopefully. For lunch at all, it's this time of the year, it's hard to get going again afterwards. Anyway, we'll get this calf home out here. Perfect. There's one issue we're having with calves this year. They're so strong that they're getting up and sucking the cow. So that calf has only been with the cow for 40 minutes. Look at the froth out of his mouth, look. They're sucking the sealer out of the cows. And they're bringing them home then, I don't know how much milk they've got, and they're all getting 3 litres, and it's too much colostrum then for some. And Paul has seen it here, calving some at night time, bring them home, give them 3 litres, they're way over full. More than haven't drank much, but you've no idea how much they've got now, the cows. So you still have to give them the 3 litres, but not a problem we usually have, but they're all sucking like mad this year. You drinking, calf? There you go, girlie. Be hearing me over this cow roaring here, but a lot of you know what that stuff is. Some of you won't. For anyone who doesn't, that stuff is called Reviva. So it's basically a post-calving drink for cows. All that's in it is a pile of energy and a pile of calcium. So you're getting a lot of fluids into them, which fills up their stomach straight away and prevents stuff like LDAs and RDAs. You need all that calcium going in, which a cow really needs as soon as she calves. She can be deficient in calcium, and supplement her for that. And then you have all the energy and electrolytes that she will have lost during calving in that as well. So you're drinking about 12 or 13 litres of water there. And calcium, electrolytes, vitamins, minerals, salt, whatever the cow needs is in that drink. And they will not take their head out of that bucket till it's all gone. I'd say we've given it to 200 cows, and there might have been 2 that didn't drink it. Saw people pushing Reviva and using Reviva on social media for a good few years, and I always looked at calving is expensive enough, and these cows are getting minerals already, and there's money being spent on them. Why spend more money on this stuff for a drink for a cow? Like, what's it going to do for them? Enjoy that, pet. Every drop. She's already fuller looking after calving. If you're thinking about, if you've seen it online or you see it here now, or you've been thinking about it for the last little while and haven't got it, all I'm going to say to you is go get a bucket of it and use it. Even if you're not having a big problem with milk fever, and we never had a big problem with milk fever here. We got it last year for the first time, and the plan was to use it on anything that was 4th lactation and over, or any twins. And we started giving it to anything 4th lactation over, or anything that had twins. And the difference that we saw between the cow that did get it and the cow that didn't get it was instantly noticeable. The cows that got feed intakes went up faster. The cows that got it cleaned faster than the cows that didn't get it. Sometimes we'd have cows coming into the parlour that would be a little bit shaky after calving, shivering like after calving. All that is down, semi-milk fever, subclinical milk fever. And the amount of subclinical milk fever that goes on in herds around the country is massive, and it used to go on here. And that's the cow that looks a little bit shook after calving, a bit hollow after calving, takes 5 or 6 or 7 days to come into herself after she calves. The majority of that is down to subclinical milk fever. You can't see it, but the cow has got milk fever. And we certainly had it in the herd here. It was so noticeable, given it 4th lactation and up last year, that 3/4 of the way through calving season last year, we just said we're going to give this to every cow. And we gave it to every cow for the remainder of the season last year. And this year, it's every cow from the start. And just go buy it. And I'm not doing an ad for it here, not sponsored or anything, but it is insanely good stuff. You'll notice it in your cows straight away. And there's a couple of farmers last year saw me using it, and they started using it. Same as me, they'd be skeptical of spending money that you don't need, or putting in pointless supplements into cows. And they started using it, and they're the same. Every cow getting it from the start this year. It's an unbelievably good product. The cows will thank you for it. And some people might say it's expensive. I'm not even too sure what it is per bucket or what it bucks out per cow. But even if you were to spend a $5 per cow on it, which would be a lot. If you had 200 cows, it'd be $1,000 is what you'd spend on Reviva. The loss you will have by having just 2 or 3% of your herd with subclinical milk fever from the start, or one down cow with actual milk fever, which you definitely won't have if you're given this stuff. You won't have any down cows. The loss that you'll have in milk sales and her not going back in calf, or if you even lose a cow with milk fever, you're looking at, a couple of grand straight away. And spend 200, 500, 700, 800 euros on Reviva. It'll be the best money you've ever spent, and pay you back no problem. So we're using it on every cow this year. If you're thinking about it or have thought about it, just go get it and start using it, is what I'd say. I can't stand outside and talk with that wind. There's an east wind here at the minute, and it'd drive you mad trying to do anything in it. And there's zero drying with it. Usually an east wind comes, dries the whole place up, is exactly what you want in February. But there's no drying, and it's just annoying then. But anyway, there's the first 20 cows separated. They're all calf milking going into the bull tank. So they have been taken off of the straw shed they were on, and now they're given their own feed space and cubicles, and they'll be milked twice a day now from today, and now they're separated. Just any OG people, if you remember back to when we were making silage and the silage videos, and the third cut, we had spread lime on the silage ground after second cut. Didn't get much rain between cuts, and if you remember in the third cut when I was raking it, there was dust, lime dust on the field. The grass had lime dust on it, and I asked people what did they think, would it affect the fermentation of the silage, or would it have any negative impact. So I'm just going to show you it now. That's what the cows here are getting today, the milk cows. The clear answer there is no. It had no effect whatsoever. And if you go back and look at that video now, I think it's titled Third Cut, there's dust out of the rake as I was raking up that stuff. Cows are mad for it, so it hasn't affected how palatable it is. It smells lovely. It tested fairly well on the silage test. So no, the main thing is to remember that there's calcium in it, and you cannot, and you have to make sure no dry cows get those bales, because dry cows and calcium can't do that. And it might actually be a good thing with the milkers and the fresh calvers to have some calcium in the silage. So smashing speckled park pepper. Far my favourite beef breeds of the whole lot, out of any of them. I love the markings of the speckled park, and they're a decent size calf too, out of a crossbred cow. This must be our fourth or fifth one now this year so far. They're unreal, all of them. So you'll have seen that cow in that clip. She's shaking there, looks like she's cold. That is touch of milk fever, subclinical or semi-clinical, whatever you want to call it. That's the first cow we've had like that. So we've heading for 40 cows calf. First cow we've had that's been like that. And the reason for that is she didn't drink her Reviva. So Paul was on calving last night. She calved this morning sometime. He offered her the Reviva and she just licked it or whatever, didn't drink it. It says on the booklet on the Reviva say that there's probably 1% of cows that will refuse to drink it, and it's definitely that low. We would have 1 to 2 cows a year, which would be 1%, and she was one of them. So she hasn't got that burst of calcium, burst of electrolytes, burst of energy into her after calving, so we'll have to go give that to her now. Morning, just a quick update here on how calving is going. We have almost 40 cows calved now. They're bursting out of it pretty much. So in the Springer shed here now, I can count 5 that are going to calve today. Paul had 5 last night. There was 5 yesterday. So you'll be looking at heading for 20 there in 48 hours or less. So we won't be long about getting through the numbers that way. The yard's been separated now. All these cows in the cubicles on this side are going into the tank being milked. The cows on the other side of the cubicles then are dry cows. They're all bagging up like mad. We'll calve by Saturday now. We'll be a long way on what's in this yard here. We should have probably 70 calves by Saturday. So that's pretty much it. Cows are good. Calves are good so far. It's still a bit early to be seeing calf problems anyway, but so far so good. Hopefully that keeps up. This is just the dry cow side. You can see lots of others like her there. Lots of full ones. cows like her. They're all around the one level there. So I can see it continuing. There's a cow very close. Get you up now, pet. Good girl. Shh, 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 shh. Come on, they'll be fairly lazy now. Come on, I don't blame them. Good girl. I'll put you up on the straw now. See, I just go through them like this in the morning after milking before I go home for breakfast to make sure we've no calves in the cubicles, and get them up onto the straw in time. It's going to stay busy. Absolute carnage for the third or fourth morning in a row. Fresh calvers, red cows cleaned in the parlour, colostrum. It's spilling rain out there. You'd want to love it, wouldn't you? And I've left the hot water tap on. All flowing out there. Anyway, the third brain is kicking in. I just turn this off here. Oh, it's still hot. That's good. Anyway, it's crazy here at the minute. Absolutely mental. Cows coming out of our ears. That'll bring an end to today's video. It's kind of, I haven't looked at it yet to edit it. I'm sure it's a bit of a mismatch of clips put together and all the rest. No real direction with it. They're going to be like that for the spring, because the spring is all over the place. So the videos are going to be all over the place. I hope you still enjoy them. Let me know in the comments if you're calving and how things are going for you. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video and leave a comment. All those help our channel. So I'm going to get on with it here, and we'll talk to you next week.